The Méridien is actually trying to reinvent all the moments our customers experience throughout the day and the night they spend in our hotel. So gastronomy, and especially breakfast, is by definition the real flagship hotel product because it's the first moment of the day. And through this breakfast, we try to awaken our customers' creative side. That means we don't just rely on top quality basics like croissants and coffee, although we work with top companies like Illy. We also try to introduce a discovery aspect by mixing fruit and spices to stimulate their creativity from the morning onwards.
Buckwheat pancake with young spinach shoots and herbs.
We were lucky to be able to call on Jean-Georges van Gerichten, who used to be a chef of the Méridien Étoile in Singapore in 1983 and who's now a Michelin 3-star chef. He gave us the benefit of his experience and talent.
So we have organic salmon, only natural products from Scotland, smoked salmon with tofu and raspberry vinegar.
We are introducing this breakfast everywhere in the world so that our customers can rediscover and have the same experience regardless of the place where they are.
And you can offer the same breakfast everywhere in the world regardless of cultural differences because you have customers who come from all over?
Well, we have a basic core that we respect in each of our hotels. Although each hotel can also add local products, of course, to keep its specificity in terms of that country's gastronomy.
At the very elegant and discreet Hyatt Regency Madeleine, the Nutrition and Vitality Breakfast has been designed by a famous nutritionist and the chef Franck Paget, where nutritional science merges with aesthetics.
I designed a breakfast tray with proteins, good quality proteins, which means proteins that don't contain a lot of fat, good fats, vegetable fats, olive oil, good bread with good cereals, and good quality berries and fruit. So you have a breakfast that lets you give your body what it needs in the morning, just what's necessary. Actually, I should have called this breakfast Just What's Necessary. Just what's necessary in proteins, just what's necessary in fats, just what's necessary in vitamins and minerals. So the nutrition and vitality advice is just that, namely to remove and eliminate from our diet whatever is bad for our cells and therefore bad for our body, even though it may taste good. The word fasting doesn't exist for me, so the word diet doesn't exist either. Personally, my art is the allocation of foods. So that is what nutrition means. It means I know how to explain to people how to allocate foods at the right time of the day, and how we should allocate foods in a given meal so that the body doesn't get tired, and we can therefore optimize all the nutrients we absorb. And so as a result, we are not tired. We have a lovely skin and no sugar cravings or empty stomach syndrome. And we manage to get through the day from an intellectual point of view and an energy point of view. We have excellent days that can last longer.
This family business, created in 1932 and specialized in glass, had a great success in 1970 thanks to a coffee glass. It's a well-known name in Japan, and it's creating a stir in tableware around the world. In this case, the glass is not just for drinking, it also becomes a plate.
いわゆる高級ブランドではないです。うちでは
Sugahara is neither a luxury nor a mass market brand. The company's strategy is to offer people the lifestyle along with the glassware. This means that the product is not a work of art. On the contrary, they would like people to use more glassware in their everyday life. They would like restaurants to use glassware as an alternative to porcelain, for instance. In the past, it was mostly French or Italian restaurants that used Sugahara, never the restaurants serving Japanese food. They used their own tableware. They tended to be traditional in the choice of tableware. And the world of Japanese cuisine only started changing 5 years ago. A growing number of chefs who prepare Japanese cuisine are now starting to use Sugahara.
Is he actually surprised to see how the chefs are using the tableware?
それはいっぱいありますよ。うちでお花を飾ったら綺麗だなと思って。
He is constantly surprised by each chef's fantastic ideas. They use it in a way that he would never have thought of. For example, a base for a flower arrangement. They came up with this idea to put flowers, but some chefs use it to present their dishes. This is a big surprise for him, for his workers too. And he is very happy to see their products used in this unexpected, fantastic way. Cooks are truly people who have a lot of visual talent.
Going to have a drink in a meat market might seem slightly incongruous. Not in Copenhagen, however, where meatpacking has become very in since the Carrière bar opened with lots of places to visit between the meat trucks. Yet Carrière is not just a trendy bar like the others. Everything in it is signed by the great names in contemporary art.
Why this location? There's different areas in Copenhagen, of course, and this area called Vesterbro. This part of the city, we want to be in this part. And we looked a lot of different locations here, a lot of different spaces, but we couldn't really find something that was big enough and cool enough. And then one day we walked through the meatpacking just for looking, and there was a lot of empty spaces. And then we just like, wow, this would be cool. I made this place together with my big brother Jeppe. He's an artist and I'm from the bar and restaurant world. We wanted to combine our energies in some way. So we had a lot of different artists from all over the world coming with art pieces for this bar. So we just have this beautiful room, and then there came in a lot of art. Like, of course, we were coordinating on where it should be. So we didn't really know how it was going to look. And that was really amazing that he said, yes, I want to do something for this place. And the only lamp I have seen from Olefur before was the big lamps in the opera in Copenhagen, and they are just amazing. So we were really happy. And it works really well in here. People smash them sometimes in the night, but it's still going on. Then we have all the tables. The tables are made by a Danish guy called Thomas Foss. This is called the World Clock, and it's a piece by Johannes Wohnseifer. My night is your day, and it goes with the sun, so where you can see the light on the mirror, there is on the piece, there's light on the sun is shining on the world, so it's moving all the time. There's a lot of GPSs in it. We have funded both toilets in both ends, the toilets here and here, and in this end there is painted on all the walls by Garda Einar Einarsson, a Norwegian artist. He used to be a street artist when he was young. He's still young, he's just 30 or something, but when he was really young. And he was like, what I am normally doing on toilets. And I was, of course, writing things, and we all know that from public toilets. So he was been drawing all the walls with black markers everywhere, dripping on the floor, and it looks quite hard. Then Robert Stadler, French artist, make a pentaphone on the toilet area as well. And it's like a phone box, but it's really, it's a modern phone box because it's for your cell phone. So you can walk in and take it down over your head, and then it's like isolated from sound, so you can stand in there and speak. And in the other end, there's a labyrinth from a Danish group called AVPD. There are 25 doors and 5 toilets, and it's all the same. You can't see if it's open or it's locked because the lock is just turning around every time you lock. You lose a little bit. Yeah. Normally when you're at a place like that or in a bar, restaurant, you always know exactly what you're wearing, how you smell, what you're saying. And when you go out there, you lose a little bit of all this control because you don't. You have no idea where you are and where you have to go. We have artist talks where artists are coming in. We have performances. We do a lot of culture projects with music. We have live music twice a month. So it's culture and it's art, but in another way that a table or a lamp. So it's coming slowly, always just changing a little bit, always developing.
Fighting the superfluous and useless, putting a brake on overconsumption while retaining the pleasure of shopping. It seems impossible to reconcile, but it's the latest trend nevertheless. And it's the policy adopted by Eno, a new creator of functional objects which have the intelligence and beauty of simplicity.
Eno was born, I'd say, from both continuity and opposition. Continuity because we effectively wanted to make beautiful, useful objects. So we're in perfect continuity with 20th century design, from Bauhaus and all that. Then there's definitely our opposition to a form of decorative objects or decorative design today, which we find too gadget-like and not sufficiently essential. Therefore, what we wanted was simple objects, perhaps minimalist from time to time, but always with some poetry, often humor, an illusion, yet still with this rationalization of the beautiful and the useful. There's this idea of monomatter. So everything is in porcelain, everything is in stone, everything is in wood, everything is lacquered. So this monomatter already contributes to the idea of simplicity. So there's a sort of obviousness, and then after that, it's true that the actual shapes are never Baroque. They are also like the stroke of a drawing.
Does the function always have to be obviously apparent?
No, not necessarily, because then we'd be too prosaic and it would lack a little poetry. No, we can effectively have this dual interpretation. On the contrary, it's what we're looking for because it's also what naturally generates the poetry and enchantment around these objects, which also gives us illusion. The functional interpretation is not obvious, but on the other hand, as we present Eno as a functional brand, you should always expect to find an underlying function. So for instance, this gold bar that Arik Levy imagined or foresaw, I'd say, almost because in view of the rather difficult economic climate, it has an even stronger illusion. Especially as it is a doorstop, so it responds to the saying, to lay gold at your feet. Or this sort of sculpted stone called Homo sapiens by Marie Garnier. Well, behind the actual words Homo sapiens, there's sharpen your knives, and afterwards crush the garlic, then crack the nuts, things like that. Around me, I have more people telling me about their problems of how to get rid of objects, rather than problems of how to buy an object. Storage spaces are filled to the brim. People move and don't know what to do. And besides that, there's also the idea of this desire that fades very quickly. You buy an object and you get bored with it very quickly. And it's either against that or because of it, I'd say, that we started up Eno.
He worked behind the scenes for years, supplying chocolate to Parisian luxury hotels and top chefs. Today, Jacques Genin has moved center stage with his own store. Mixer met this chocolate maker who's known for his great purism towards his products. Ultra-fresh cakes and chocolates descend directly from his laboratory, where we'd love to be a guinea pig.
I wanted signs of the laboratory in the store because I am primarily someone who was a bit raw, let's say. I love all these materials like wood or metal, stone, brick, in fact all these raw materials. I need to have them in the store through everything that I am personally.
And you've installed a lab upstairs, which I imagine is rare?
An upstairs laboratory. Neither one can be separated. The raw products that you find downstairs, you find them in the laboratory. All the production descends, it's a common space, just a common space. It's simultaneously the revelation of the product and the revelation of the freshness of the product. A chocolate is good, but as soon as people tell you that a chocolate is a long-life product, it's not true. How can a fat be a long-life product? It's porous, it absorbs all odors, it absorbs humidity, and it absorbs heat. Why not consider this product as a fresh product?
So for you, what makes an excellent chocolate from its production up to its consumption, in terms of time and in terms of work too?
In terms of time, for me, from the moment I pour a ganache, there will effectively be the moment of preparing and pouring it, moment to let it dry, because it can't be coated beforehand. So that will take 1 or 2 days, and then there's the fact of bringing it down to the store. Afterwards, I effectively give the product between 10 and 15 days shelf life. I don't give the product 10 to 15 days shelf life because it would no longer be good, but in terms of the flavors. As long as you're not cheating, you don't use essences, essential oils, or others. You are therefore working by infusion. And through these infusions, what is happening? These are volatile products. And every volatile product, if you want to be able to keep it, you effectively have to stick them with essential oils so as to keep them inside a ganache, inside a praline center, inside a marshmallow or other. Now, I don't do this. I work the chocolate just like when I'm working in the kitchen. When I use an herb, it's for right away. As regards the size, I personally make candies weighing 5 to 6 grams, and I've been doing that for years. Why? When you have a candy of 10 to 12 grams in your mouth, you break it into two first. So when it comes to the flavors, you lose a part of them because in any case, you're not in direct contact with the product. There you take one bite, you put it into your mouth, rather like a petit four, the same. Then you bite down, and afterwards you effectively have the full bloom. You chew a few times, you have the whole chocolate that melts in your mouth. You look for the flavor and you don't have the flavor. It only comes afterwards and the chocolate comes back. When you manage that, you say to yourself, good, I think I'm doing quite well.
Tell me about the cakes you make, how you define the classics you make.
I define them simply. Take the Napoleon. Lots of people love Napoleons, but many are disappointed. Why? Because you no longer have that pastry that smells of butter. You no longer have that crispness. You have a pastry that becomes a little bit like cardboard. A bit crisp without being crisp. Elastic, completely soggy. It's insipid, it shouldn't be like that. The same is true for the Paris-Brest, a lemon tart, a chocolate tart, yet traditional products. Personally, I only want to make traditional products, but I want to do full honor to these products, whether it concerns a fruit paste or toffee. I didn't used to eat toffees. I couldn't find a good toffee. It either stuck to your teeth or it was indeed bitter. There was no longer any sweetness, nor any sensuality. There's no point. People don't eat products like that. As for weight, we put on weight for no good reason.
That's true.
Yet if you're going to put on weight, it might as well give you pleasure. And in any case, I'm convinced that you don't put on weight when you eat a product with pleasure. What is my profession? It's a profession of pleasure. I please myself to give others pleasure. Although it is indeed hard, even though it takes hours, even though it takes time. But despite that, you still keep, when you've successfully made a lovely product, when you see people's eyes light up, when you see that they are indeed coming to see you, I'm discovering this here.
What you didn't have before was precisely this contact with the public.
No, and that's magic. The gratitude is real. The fact that you might have... They had a great moment of pleasure with you. You weren't there, but they shared it. And you too, when you said goodbye to them, when you see them, you go home and you feel good.
Vous rentrez à la maison, vous êtes bien.